Today we will be looking at the weapons of CULTIC. I will be ranking them based on their overall performance and generally how fun they are to use. This list will include both chapters for a full complete overview of everything this great game has to offer. Before we get started, however, I'm setting one important ground rule. Unlike the retro shooters I have covered in the past, CULTIC's guns can be upgraded to suit whatever playstyle you want for your playthrough. As such, I will not be using the weapon bench for this ranking, and will instead focus on their baseline viability in the game. With all that said, let's dive in. Starting off with number 18, the BB gun. Calling this one a gun would be rather generous. Its sole purpose is to be used in the shooting gallery to win you a prize, and that's it. But if you want to actually try to deal damage with it, then be my guest. When the cultists began overwhelming you though, don't say I didn't warn you. Moving on. Next at number 17, unarmed. Unless you've intentionally walked by the very first weapon pickup in the game, or you just have a death wish, there's no reason to ever use your fists. CULTIC never leaves the player without some means of defending themselves for long, even when it takes them away for story-related purposes. Unlike the BB gun, you can effectively lay down a beating on unsuspecting cultists under the right circumstances. In fact, you should be working some kicks and shoulder checks into your strategy to stun enemies and prevent them from damaging you, but solely relying on your mitts in a tougher fight will simply get you killed. Next at number 16, the handgun. The Mauser C96, or more specifically the Red 9, makes its appearance as the standard sidearm in our loadout. Though highly sought after among collectors, it just doesn't have the stopping power to compete with the other weapons on this list. Great for softer targets early in the game and throughout, but with no armor piercing, the handgun is going to struggle to put down tougher foes. Still, ammo is plentiful for it, and with a little love and investment into upgrades, it'll perform well enough for its weight class. Just keep something bigger at the ready, or equip a shield for when the pressure starts to bear down on you. At number 15, the hatchet. This isn't your ordinary wood-cutting tool. It's your first real taste of just how visceral CULTIC's gameplay can be. A charged-up swing can quickly deliver the killing blow to most entry-level foes, but the true lethality lies in its secondary fire. With a bit of practice, you can line up headshots to bring down distant enemies with surprising efficiency. Best of all, you can retrieve your hatchets from the ground after each throw, making them an endless resource. For all its strengths though, getting into melee range is not advised for some of the game's tougher encounters. You'll likely get overwhelmed, leading to a few extra bullet holes or worse. Use it to conserve your ammo, but don't lean on it too heavily. Next at number 14, the Sten. Crediting in some firepower and the ability to equip a shield, the Sten Mark V brings extra speed and volume the handgun lacks otherwise. While the accuracy isn't great at long range, the hailstorm of bullets this thing puts out is more than sufficient to chew through a crowd of cultists. Take note, however, that the Sten still suffers the same drawback of not having any piercing capabilities, so you'll need some trigger discipline to avoid wasting ammo with it. With a steady supply of bullets and sharing in the largest overall carrying capacity, the Sten is sure to become a real workhorse against mobs of low-tier enemies. It may not be one of the more impressive weapons in your arsenal, but it'll get the job done with its high rate of fire. Next at number 13, the revolver. After seeing the detective turn in his badge and gun during the intro cutscene, you've finally got your hands on a Smith & Wesson 357 of your own. Capable of punching right through shields, and if you aim carefully, you can rack up multiple headshots with a single pull of the trigger. Even adepts can't escape the barrage of magnum rounds, keeping them stun-locked right where they stand.
Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Although the performance is fairly solid across the board, the baseline revolver falls behind without some upgrades. For starters, the alt-fire essentially does nothing, unlike another weapon featured further up on this list. Still, at close to mid-range, the revolver isn't a bad choice for a sidearm, at least until you start encountering tougher enemies. Next at number 12, the flare. As the first of the temporary weapons worth picking up, the German LP-42 flare pistol serves as a fine introduction to fire-based damage. Limited to 3 rounds per pickup, careful aim is needed to ensure your shots don't fly past your target or they'll land harmlessly on the ground. If you do manage to stick one though, then you can sit back and watch it light them up, leaving you to mop up the rest of the surrounding threats. Although the flare lacks any splash or lingering effects from higher tier weapons on this list, it still proves that fire damage is something to be feared among the ranks of the cult. Next at number 11, the semi-auto shotgun. Chop down an auto 5 and you've got yourself a real powerhouse for close encounters. Anything at sneezing range will quickly turn into mincemeat in just a few shots, with enough force behind it to pierce through and hit their friends. Pair it with a shield, and you'll be a monster at CQC, at least until you need to reload. With a baseline capacity of 5 rounds, the semi-auto's main drawback is the time it takes to fully top off after depleting the magazine. For this reason alone, you'll want to limit your shots to 4 instead, because trust me, that extra downtime will leave you wide open for attack. But with careful pacing, giving yourself some breathing room in between kills will enable the semi-auto shotgun to stay in the fight for longer. Next at number 10, the lever action rifle. Outperforming the revolver on nearly all fronts, the Henry Mare's Leg made its debut early on in CULTIC's first chapter, and still manages to hold the spotlight. Even at base level, it packs style, rhythm, and the damage needed to stay ahead of the curve on this list. The sound effects alone are incredibly satisfying, with that low, thundering bang accompanied by the tight click of the lever cycling. It just brings a wicked grin to my face every time. Although having a speed loader might be nice to offset the downtime, reloading is still fairly quick if you don't intend on mag dumping it for every situation. And if that weren't enough to sell you on it, the lever action rifle excels at every range possible, provided your aim is good. Catch them unaware at a distance with the primary fire, or get in close and soak your boots in blood with the alternate fire. Whatever playstyle suits you best, this gun delivers. Next at number 9, the bazooka. Another temporary weapon found in our lineup, the M1A1 boasts some truly destructive potential in the hands of a skilled player. It ranks lower on this list only due to it being such a finite resource, and the fact that it slows you down considerably just to carry one. Outside of the boss fights in Chapter 2, there's only a few instances where you can find the bazooka out in the wild. Regardless, getting your hands on it will grant you the means to dole out some severe punishment. It's capable of clearing groups of tightly packed enemies, or removing chunks of health off of a boss in a single, well-placed shot. Although few in number, the bazooka is a worthy contender on this list, and one you should definitely be looking out for on your playthrough. Next at number 8, the machine gun. The last of the temporary weapons, the Browning ranks at the top for being a fair bit more reliable due to the velocity of the bullets it spits out. It still slows down the player like the bazooka, but without the worry of having only one shot to work with. You can think of it like a turbocharged Sten, capable of shredding through armor with its generous ammo capacity. Overall, the machine gun makes for an excellent supplement to your weapon loadout, providing you can make use of cover and remember to dash to avoid incoming fire. Like the bazooka, it too is very limited in quantity, so be sure to rip them off their tripod when you spot one. At number 7, the bolt action rifle. In one of the most epic displays of heroism, CULTIC thrusts you back into the shoes of the rookie cop, armed with a Lee Einfeld and his own conviction to turn the tide of battle. Every shot from this rifle is so satisfying when it connects, letting you thin the Colt's numbers before they even have a chance to close in on you. Even with a slower cycling rate and reload speed, the immense firepower this thing brings to the table more than makes up for it. There's just one thing holding it back on this list, however. For all its strengths, the bolt-action rifle is still an extremely rare weapon, present only at the tail end of Chapter 2, and unless you manage to find it in a secret area, it never comes up again. Fortunately, there is quite a bit of sniper ammo in the game's finale, so better make use of it while you can. Next at number 6, the FG-42. Bridging the gap between a marksman rifle and a light machine gun, the German paratrooper rifle brings unparalleled precision to your arsenal. Aiming down the sights is very responsive, allowing you to snap to your target in mere moments to take a shot. While sniper ammo isn't necessarily short on supply, it should never be your go-to for every encounter. By using it as intended to either counter sharpshooters or pick off unsuspecting foes, the baseline FG-42 is an utterly devastating weapon. Fortunately for us, the gun just gets even better in Chapter 2 with its larger, more expansive maps. Level and enemy design is a very important formula to balance for a sniper rifle to truly shine in any game, and I firmly believe CULTIC nails it. Before we get into the top 5, I wanted to take a moment for some honorable mentions. These include interactable items that don't necessarily fall into the category of conventional weaponry, but are still useful to the player nonetheless. While explosive barrels and oil lanterns are obvious enough, shields can also prove to be deadly in their own right. Then there's the bar of vile soap, which although rare, plainly demonstrates that cultists have a severe allergy to bathing. And who doesn't enjoy scalding their enemies with a hot cup of joe?
Hey, does anybody want coffee?
Now at number 5, the grenade launcher. While I love the classic M79, there's something about the China Lake that just hits differently. Maybe it's the sleek, compact design of having a tube magazine, unlike the bulky drum of an MGL-40, or because it's a pump-action weapon. Either way, packing a 40mm grenade launcher into your arsenal makes for a well-rounded loadout. At base level, it does everything that TNT can do, but quicker and with a bit more control. The only real drawbacks come from limited ammo and the fact that it doesn't enter the scene until about mid-game. Still, when there's a tightly packed group of cultists or mutated freaks, one well-placed shot from the grenade launcher is the best way to make a statement. Now at number 4, the shotgun. While the semi-auto may hold more ammo, I'd rather sacrifice some to cram more power into each shell. And I'm not even talking about its ability to fire both barrels at once. This shotgun inherently contains more pellets per shot, quite literally demonstrating that less is indeed more. Now, I may be a bit biased as someone who grew up on Doom, but slapping a good shotgun in my hands is all I need to have fun. And so what if you can't use it with a shield? Get that crap out of here! Whatever the game throws at you, the shotgun can handle anything at close range. With the amount of movement at your disposal, you can close the distance and stunlock most enemies before they even have a chance at fighting back. It may not top the list, but it's a damn fine piece of craftsmanship. Now at number 3, TNT. Dynamite might offer up the most value of any weapon in the entire lineup. It is abundant, versatile, and extremely rewarding in the hands of a skilled player. Its destructive potential is at its best with some careful planning. Set up traps for enemies to walk into, open up secret areas, and blast entire groups away with a quick toss, or simply toss a lit bundle into their faces while laughing maniacally at their demise. Chapter 2 even introduces a new enemy into the mix that you can use against the cult if you have good timing. And if you can manage to take out a martyr before they even come running at you, well, that's another way to stay stocked up on resources. Whatever your use may be, TNT is an essential part of CULTIC's gameplay loop, and one that every player should learn to master. Now at number 2, the incinerator. As stated earlier when I covered the flare, fire damage is something to be feared, and the incinerator brings it in spades. Now it doesn't come onto the scene until the immolator starts to show up, so it's kind of a late arrival. Its presence is felt even less in Chapter 2, so you'll want to use fuel sparingly, especially with the alt fire. Regardless, getting your hands on one of these means things are about to really heat up. Aside from a few enemies that are immune to its effects, of course, there is no defense against such a weapon. Whether it's area denial or damage over time, the incinerator grants the ability to cleanse the battlefield in righteous, holy fire in only a matter of seconds. Just take care not to burn yourself with it or stand too close to an enemy when you ignite them. Now finally, at number 1, the Molotov. Well, what do you know? Another fire-based weapon made it to the top. I wonder why. But seriously, what more needs to be said after we've come this far in the ranking? Molotovs are just more readily available than flares or the incinerator, and they're introduced in the very first level of each chapter. So right away you can see for yourself how much chaos you can spread across the environment with just a rag stuffed inside a bottle full of lighter fluid. But what really earns mollies the top spot is your ability to combine them with TNT, creating what we affectionately call a Molomite. With a bit of combat ingenuity, you can rig together your own alt-fire from the incinerator and lay waste to virtually anything foolish enough to cross your path. You won't find as many Molotovs as you will TNT, making them a precious commodity you'll want to keep a lookout for. And that about covers it. That's all 18 weapons in CULTIC. Do you agree or disagree with the ranking? Let me know down in the comments. While you're there, let me know what other games you'd like me to cover next. Hey there everyone! It's been quite some time since I've made one of these videos, but thank you for sticking around this far. And if you're new around here, consider subscribing if you've enjoyed the content. Also leave a like and share with a friend, that stuff really helps me out. Until then, stay safe and comfy out there.